might be pretty nice. Play with pencils, paper, and dice.
All right. So what has happened here? You three are young, plucky new adventurers preparing to go on your first major quest. And as you guys were each trying to come up with whatever magical adventure you were going to go up and do, you were each approached by a gypsy-like person known as but we're in the D&D realm, they're called Vistani.
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 Okay.
And they're dressed like gypsies, so it's easier just to call them, they're D&D gypsies. At any rate, so you're each approached by a person of this particular ilk, and they offer you great honors. You know, what one of them approaches first, we'll go in character, I suppose. So your name is Finn Buckbrush, I hear. I hear you're going to be a great adventurer. What are you searching for?
I look to better the lot of the poor and the desolate among the realms.
Oh, I know of the poorest and most desolate in all of the realms. But alas, I should not mention it to you, for it would take a great adventurer of truly noble heritage to be able to save these poor people.
Well, stranger, we're both here, and the fire is warm. Perhaps I could hear of such things.
Well, perhaps. I would happily tell you of the tale of these poor people who are desperately in need of a savior, but alas, I have to go back on my wagon and continue my travels. Perhaps you would accompany me for a ways. We are just traveling through the woods to the next town. I'm sure that a rugged man like you would be safe in my company, and perhaps you might even save me from some of the terrible things that happen in the night.
Surely, I wish to hear more of your tales, and, well, it's... the camp's nothing that won't travel. Let us away.
Oh, excellent. So you and your new companion are loaded onto the wagon, where you see several other people who are all, starry-eyed adventurers like yourself. And you guys continue down the path. Meanwhile, earlier or later, take your pick, Ron, you are sitting around a campfire when you are all likewise approached by a man wearing colorful outfit. He goes, "Ah, I hear you are a great adventurer. I can tell just by looking into your eyes. Tell me, what do you quest for, O mighty adventurer?"
Airships.
Ah,
Great, magnificent airships.
No goof.
So you're crazy. Well,
Come on, man.
even better. We've got the most magnificent airships possible here. A great wizard lives within our realm who spends all of his time talking about airships. Perhaps if you were to accompany me, I might introduce you to him, so you might find something about these airships that you so seek.
This sounds like an individual I must talk to.
Excellent. Please, just hop into the back of my wagon here. We shall travel post-haste.
Sounds like a great idea. Let's do it. There's an awful lot of people in this wagon.
There's several, you do see. All right.
Yes, sir.
Leroy.
Hello.
Sure. So yes. Oh, mighty stranger, what are you doing here?
I was about to have dinner. Would you like to join me?
Oh, I would love to join you. He sits down and pulls that into his pouch and pulls out a wineskin. But I've only brought this fine vintage of wine with me. Could I share this with you?
You could indeed.
Excellent. Well, he offers up his wineskin and sits next to you. So what are you doing?
That was weird.
Wow. The strange insects that are flying around tonight.
Indeed, they plague this forest. I'm not sure what the deal is.
Yes. All right. So, at any rate, we're preparing to travel on an epic adventure. What happened? What do you happen to be searching for, oh great adventurer?
I searched for a holy text of Lathander.
What? A holy text of Lathander, you say? How bizarre! For I was just talking to a companion of mine, and there is a holy text of Lathander located in a castle near to where I am traveling to. Amazing coincidence, do you not think?
That is incredibly convenient.
Yes. Well, I think you should accompany me, for these terrible insects are going to be the death of us all if we do not leave this place soon.
I agree. I will see if I can find a way to pack up quickly so we can leave these horrible insects.
Excellent. Well, he shows you to the back of the wagon and gets himself prepared to go. So all three of you are sitting in the back of the wagon together shortly thereafter. Have a few minutes to talk and take each other's measure as you are preparing to travel.
So there's been some flight of insects around here lately.
Yes, I think they're locusts, perhaps. They're loud, certainly.
Can't seem to see where they're coming from.
Well, then, locusts, they'll sit on every branch and every leaf and every tree.
As you were talking, you hear some whips, and the wagon starts going forward, creaking slowly through the forest. Neither of you have been around here very much, but you weren't sure there was a path here. However, the wagon seems to be traveling forward without any issues, so you assume you must be on some sort of a road.
Yeah, just poke my head out the back, look down at the road.
Looks like two very underused wheel ruts are here, so obviously this must be what the person was looking for. So he is just taking you down an alternative path, perhaps.
Well, it's definitely less likely to find any scoundrels out on a path like this. Talk about the road less traveled.
Yes, yeah, indeed.
As we quietly... Okay, then you guys continue traveling. A long, multi-houred travel. About 4 or 5 hours later. The one companion you have with you is strangely silent the entire time. As if the giant horde of insects has stolen his voice or something. But it does not seem to bother you over much as you continue on your trek. You notice as you travel further and further, a slight fog begins to rise up. And as you travel further still, the fog becomes much, much thicker. To the point where even as you're looking out, you can only see but 10 or 20 paces behind you.
Say, gypsy friend, the fog closes in. Perhaps we should make camp and travel again in the morning.
But there is no answer. And as you call to him, you notice that the fog has gotten extremely thick behind you. But yet, at that exact same moment, the wagon seems to stop.
Maybe we've hit something, or... I mean, in this fog, it's definitely possible.
Poke my head up, to where the driver would be, just like, parting the curtains or whatever. Like, say there, are they there?
The woods are chill this night, and the air grows chill as you realize that the driver is gone. And in fact, so are the horses. And as you look further forward, you realize that the wagon itself is very old, decrepit even.
Pull a splinter off. To snap. Say, new friends, holding up the splinter. You should look outside. Something is amiss.
As you begin to look outside of the wagon, you realize that all of the trees of the forest are different. They're darker greens. There's several with large splotches of dying leaves all over them. But they look nothing like the forest that you all just left not 4 or 5 hours ago. Matter of fact, you even recall the forest looking similar even before you crossed into that thick fog. But now that you've crossed the fog, the forest seems to have changed. But as you look around, you notice directly behind you along the path, which is even now hard to find, the wall of fog is incredibly thick. So thick that you can't even see any distance through it. But as you look to the west, the fog thins out tremendously. and you can see what looks to be a large house to the west of you.
Hop out. Brush.
Your feet crunch into dead grass as you land. No one's come this way in some time.
If it crunches, I won't do what I was about to do, and that is brush my fingers across the ground. Obviously, it's horrible, desolate here.
Yes.
Friends, perhaps we should go to ground. There is shelter this way, I think. James's microphone is down, I think?
Yeah. I start going through my pack, pulling out various scrolls of the area we were in.
All right, you do so.
Trying to pick out landmarks.
All right, as you pull out your scrolls, you notice that you can't see far enough to really see any really good landmarks. Finn, as you're looking at these scrolls, you wonder why this gentleman is carrying such old, tattered things with him. Those scrolls look like they're 100 years old and poorly maintained at that.
Say there, these scrolls, you'll notice they're not in the best of condition. It's as if they've been in a chest for a century or more.
I just picked these up, like, last week. Do they look the same to me, or...?
Now that you've looked at them, no, they don't. They do definitely look poor, like they've been aged tremendously.
I mean, literally, I just drew this one less than a week ago. I began fiddling with them faster as they began to deteriorate in my hands, trying to find...
Well, they don't get any worse than that, but they definitely look really old. Even though they look old, you kind of the general fundamentals of them seem mostly intact. Like, you know, they seem to be about as tough as you'd expect them to be, but it just looks shitty. Like, as you're looking at your armor looks like it's not been polished in a time. And you guys have been doing reasonably well at keeping up your equipment, but it looks like you guys haven't been keeping up with your equipment very well.
Again, things are odd here. I'm going to, if no one else will, check out that building over there and make for the building. You know, go to scout it out, keeping to the shadows as possible.
Okay, keeping to the shadows is really, really easy. There are shadows everywhere. Okay, let me try it a little more seriously. The forest creeps around you like silent giants, shadows casting as long as your eyes can see. Darkness is around you and about you. Everything appears to be chock full of horror. Your only big problem is as you creep through shadow after shadow, every shadow seems to have eyes in it, and all of them seem to be bloodthirsty.
Okay, that's creepy. So, I got, let's see here, 4, that's 11. Or, yeah, since it's so dark and brooding, if I got advantage, it would have been not much higher.
Okay. Well, you do have advantage, so you, with your advantage, seem to be hiding from everything you can think of. And you get over closer to the town. What is everyone else doing? You've been walking towards the building.
Where are you going?
I think he's going to check out that building. Maybe we should wait here until he returns.
How's he ever going to find us?
That is a fair point. Well, all of my possessions seem to be in at least functional order.
Okay.
I checked
I want to say again what my character said. The dialogue was, if none of the rest of you will, I at least will scout out that building. In other words, you're invited, you know?
Oh, no, I understood that. I was just, you know...
I was busy checking out my belongings.
I was also going through my scrolls and everything seeming old. I was kind of, going through, and I pull out my scotch and check it. Does it taste any better?
No.
But it still looks good. The bottle looks old.
The bottle looks gold, but as you taste the scotch...
It tastes like 2-day scotch.
The scotch, actually, if anything, tastes less flavorful than you would expect. It's very... For scotch, it's very bland. It doesn't seem to have much kick to it. Like it didn't age, like it aged, but it didn't age well.
That's horrible.
Oh,
It's gonna be hard to even get drunk off this.
I can't even smell it. We should probably try and catch up.
Okay.
All right, the two of you start to walk towards where the house. You actually, it's your. What did you make your stealth check at, Mose? All right, with advantage, 14. With 14, okay. Leroy, you don't see him anywhere. Ron, you do see the halfling far up ahead of you, pretty successfully hiding to the shadows. You only caught him because of a momentary flash of lightning in the background, which highlighted the the stark relief of the house against what looks to be several other buildings nearby. And then the boom of thunder falls over you, though no rain is falling, and you quickly lose sight of the of the rogue, or excuse me, of Finn. However, despite the fact that you guys have only been walking a few paces, as you turn around, noticing how hard it is to see him, you realize you've already lost track of the wagon.
This does not bode well.
Well, it's good we didn't leave anything there.
Well, I mean, the wagon was pretty crappy, so I'm not sure it would have been useful for anything anyways. But
yes, it looked like if I pulled it, it would fall over.
That very much was the case. All right. You three all get closer to the town. Finn, for story purposes, when you get closer to the town, you stop as you get within the town, within the edge of the town. You realize you're in the outskirts of a small town. Multiple buildings are around you, though there is so much fog you really can't make much detail out other than you are on some sort of a street. No one is walking around you. And the mists seem to be oppressively pushing you towards this house. As you're sitting there, Leroy and Ron both come up beside you due to Ron's good eyes. And all three of you are together staring in front of the house, which... Let me do this, I guess. 1 second. The house appears and looks like...
I'll have my Warhammer out.
Do you guys all see that map picture right now?
I do.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Got that right then. All right, so you guys all see that. All right. So as you look at the house, you see a shattering lightning bolt brings the house into stark relief against the terrible background around you.
I don't know that I can say I've seen a 4-story building before.
Let's see. Let me see if I can get the... Let's see if this is it. Okay, there you go.
It's tall, but it's no castle. I think it would be sufficient shelter, but the question is what lies inside.
I mean, even the front doors are gated.
All right. So you guys are sitting in a gravel road that leads to a village. The tall house is as dark as tombstone. Nestled among these solemn dwellings are a handful of closed-up shops. Even the tavern is shut tight. A soft whimpering draws your eyes towards a pair of children standing in the middle of the otherwise lifeless street.
Should we check on them?
I think I will approach. I'm their size, so I shouldn't frighten them so much. But be at the ready. None of this bodes well.
Yes, I'm at the ready already.
They're just children. They're probably scared.
Yes,
I mean,
they appear to be children, but then we appear to be someplace other than we should be. Nothing here is right.
The children are here. Okay. There's an older girl who's around your height, so about 10 years old, and a slightly smaller boy. The boy is holding a doll, and their boy is weeping softly while the girl is trying to hush him. As you get closer, after shushing the boy, the girl turns to you and says, "There's a monster in our house!" She points to the tall brick row house that has seen better days. Its windows are dark, It has a gated portico on the ground floor, and a rusted gate is slightly ajar. The houses on either side are abandoned. The windows and doors are boarded up.
I'm sorry, children. Are your parents with you?
No, there's a monster in the basement of our house, and our parents usually are down there trying to keep it calm.
Come on, Ron. Let's join him over there.
Okay.
Children, we of course wish to help you with this. A monster threatening children. This is nothing that should be ignored. But please, before we part company for such purposes, would you please tell us, where are we?
Oh, you're in the town of Barovia. This is our home, and there's a monster in there, and our baby brother's in the nursery on the 3rd floor. We're sure the monster's going to try to kill him.
A nursery?
Yes, she gestures up to the 3rd floor.
Yeah.
I can't go in there. The monster will eat me, but you maybe, could you save our baby brother? The little boy looks up to you, and there's a little glimmer of hope in his eyes as he's looking at you.
Well,
we will do everything on our power to save your family.
Oh, thank you so much, mister. It's so terrible here. She cracks for just a moment and then recovers, straightening her spine. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Keep faith in Lathander, and your days will be brighter.
Okay.
Come, let's advance. Just try to get the others to follow me out of earshot.
All right, they're sitting right in front of the front. They're sitting pretty much right in front of the front door of their house. So you guys all kind of walk over to the front door. There's enough privacy there that they probably won't be able to listen in.
Have either of you ever heard of a realm, a city, or anything called Barovia?
Can I make a history or religion check for that?
Yes.
They're the same, so I'll just roll.
No, you did not. You vaguely recall something about that, but you're not sure.
Perhaps I may have come across something maybe similar in name, but not in description.
Well, apparently that's where we are, so let us be on our toes for anything that might come our way. I will see to making entry take point so that perhaps I may espy any threats before they attack.
I'll be right behind you, small one.
I will follow as well.
All right.
Examine the front door, make sure that there's not going to be any, I know it sounds silly, but traps. Make sure it's not locked before I simply try it, and do everything I can to try and keep the door from making a noise when I make my entry.
Make a perception check to detect for traps, because you said you were going to. You did not detect any traps.
Okay. Alright, I'm fairly sure that it's safe to open the door now.
Alright, I'll do that.
Door opens up. A wrought iron gate with hinges on one side and the lock on the other fills the archway of the stone portico. The gate is unlocked and the rusty hinges shriek when the gate is opened. Oil lamps hang from the portico ceiling by chains flanking a set of oaken doors that are currently closed. Hanging on the south wall of this foyer is a shield emblazoned with a coat of arms, a stylized golden windmill on a red field, flanked by framed portraits of stony-faced aristocrats. And there's some more doors there. As you look, the shield itself, a quick glance at it, it's not in good quality. It's a display shield. It's not really good for battle. One solid hit will ruin it.
Okay. I already have a shield, so it's fine.
Okay. All right, you've got another set of doors in front of you, Mose.
Okay. All right, now, listen. This time, don't open the door. Let me go first. You are most capable of killing whatever we find. I'm most capable of avoiding being seen by it.
And I'll carry the treasure.
Treasure's not really
Why we're
priority
here?
right now, but very well.